Welcome to Dr. Charles Speaks, a podcast for now. You've joined us for a special series of transformational talks, selected exclusively from Dr. Charles's corporate success calls. The 15-minute calls are designed to encourage leaders, activate your thought life, and prepare you for the challenges ahead. Dr. Charles joins every call with a blend of his personal experiences, his expertise as a John Maxwell certified mentor and coach, and of course, his more than 30 years of exceptional experience in both corporate America and ministry. Get motivated with Dr. Charles Speaks, a transformational talk from the Red Line on today's podcast, inspiring excellence and generating results.
Good morning, my friends. I can never stop saying it is a happy Monday, because what you do today will make all of the difference. Thank you, can't say that enough, for joining me on the Red Line Corporate Success Call. This call, 15 minutes, it will surely make the difference. It's designed to start your week off on a great and positive note and to inspire you to continue to challenge yourself. Never give up on yourself, for it is your personal growth, your personal leadership that's at stake here today. Never regret a day in your life. Good days give happiness. Bad days give experience. Worst days give lessons. And best days gives memories. And so today, I want to talk to you about effective leadership. It requires making sacrifices. Boy, sacrifices. That's true. It does require sacrifice in effective leadership. What are you talking about? If you desire to become the best leader that you can possibly be, then guess what? Then you're going to need to be willing to make sacrifices to lead well. I can remember as a kid and having homework and wanting to go outside and play with the other kids in the neighborhood. I could hear them laughing and playing and having a great time. I'm looking out the window, but I had homework to do, and I didn't feel like doing the homework. I wanted to go outside and join them right on the streets and have a great time. But my mom would say, nope, no going outside playing until you have got your homework completed. And I would just be mad I couldn't get out there. But you know what? It paid off because I got the homework done and I graduated from school and on to life. And it's so important to realize that sacrifices do make the difference. So the greater the leader, the more you must give up, believe it or not. Anybody that's ever made it successfully in their career, in their endeavor, trust me, the story behind the scenes, all of the study time, all of the sacrifices of wanting to do various things but couldn't do it because they felt dedicated and they felt compelled to work day and night. You know, we look at our leaders and we look at the successful ones and we look at our athletes and we look at our business people, all of these folks that are successful and are high up on the chart and leading the way and CEO positions and just having a great impact on their environment that they currently work in. Well, they didn't get there overnight. They had to put in time and they had to work hard at it. And that was so important for them, and that made the difference. And so while others seemingly were doing great, they continue to work. And that's the key. You could be a hero today and a zero tomorrow, but you want to continue to learn and grow. Every person, I said, who has ever achieved any success in life have made sacrifices. Now, when I think about, I like sports. I talk about sports analogies all the time, but I think about the golfer Tiger Woods. I can remember him seeing the clips on TV that he was, 6 or 7 years old. His dad was working with him to learn the game of golf. He's on television putting and doing a good job and showing the way for us older golfers that's still trying to figure it out. But Tiger Woods, you know the story, throughout his life, his teenage years, his adult life, just a terrific golfer. But it took a sacrifice to get there. And I know I aspire to be like him, but I'm far, far, far away from being close. And am I willing to pay the price tag for success? And that's what you have to ask yourself. It's just like an auction. If you ever been to an auction and things are being auctioned off, you will notice something. As the price goes higher, there are going to be fewer bidders. When the price is low, everybody jumps in. An easy crossing makes for an anemic believer. But when it's hard and you're going to have to put in the time and in this case of an auction, the price goes up. In the end, only one person is willing to pay the higher price that item actually cost. And so people will check out as they continue to strive to grow. They say, hey, it's just too tough. It's too hard. I don't want to do it. This isn't for me. And this is why it's so important, folks, to really find your niche, your passion, because when you have a passion for something and you're good at something, you don't look at the clock and watch, have I put in my 8 hours and, I've only worked 9 to 5 and it's 10 minutes to 5 and you're counting down the minutes and the seconds for you to get up out of your desk and get to your car and get into traffic and go home. It's something about leaders where they just continue to work at it until they get better at it. And so you're not going to just have an easy crossing. There's going to be some struggle. There can be no success without sacrifice. Anytime you see success, you can be sure someone made sacrifices to make it possible. And so that is so important to understand. The second point I want to talk about is if leaders have to give up to go up, then they have to give up even more to stay up. That's a whole lot of words. Let's say that again. If leaders have to give up to go up, then they have to give up even more to stay up. Now, you think about that. What won for you today doesn't necessarily going to give you the winning solution tomorrow, because things change. You cannot continue to do the same things. You think about the teams that have won the championship. So they had a great year. They held the trophy up high. Everyone was excited about it. So what's going to happen next year? You think they're going to do the exact same things? They're going to do much of the same things, but they're going to have to make some tweaks along the way because guess what? The opponents have stolen some of the plays that they've run. They have watched the tapes on how they've been successful. They're looking for ways to be like them and to be able to beat them, to overtake them and be the champion the following year. And so those that are champs, they are thinking about what can we do even better? What can we do to even add to our success? So it's one thing to be at the top, but to stay at the top, you're going to have to even sacrifice that much more and practice that much more harder to reach the level and maintain the level. That's why I'm so impressed with some of these winning organizations such as the New England Patriots. Year in and year out, they're winning. They're making changes every year, but yet they seem to always continue to go to the playoffs. I look at the just recently here in the last week, the Ohio State University coach, Urban Myers. His record was like 89 wins and 7 losses. How did he continue to do that? Nick Saban with Alabama, just watched them come back and beat my University of Georgia team. How does he continue to win and championship after championship? Because they make sacrifices along the way. They get in the film room. They work individually with their individual players, and they coach them collectively and individually. And they're always looking and studying their opponents, and they're always looking to see what is the new thing that they can do and do it well. Practice makes perfect, as I've heard that before, and so they practice. And so in order to give up to go up, but in order to go up and stay up, you're going to have to do those things. Think about it. What gets a team to the top? It isn't what keeps them there. The only way to stay up is to give up even more. And leadership success requires what? Continuous change, constant improvement, and ongoing sacrifices. And so when you have that interview with that person who is so successful and you want to be like them, you want to do some of the things, the great things that they've done, and you just simply ask them, it just doesn't happen overnight. They'll tell you that. They'll tell you this has been a lifelong journey, a lifelong stance of continuously growing. And that's what I've been talking about. That's what I apply to myself. I'm not satisfied with the things that I've accomplished in life. I want to continue to grow and bring people along with me in the growth. What good is it to grow all by yourself and be standing alone in the winner's circle? I want everybody to be standing in the winner's circle holding up the trophy. When you become a leader, number 3, you lose the right to think about yourself. You wear the title servant leader. You know, I said this last week on the broadcast. The quote went something like, talent wins games, but what? Teamwork wins championship. That's the key. So the heart of leadership is putting others ahead of yourself. That's what a servant leader is. I didn't know nothing about servant. I just heard a lot about leader when I was young in the business. But I now grasp and I understand the importance of being a servant leader. And that's really about making others around you better. It's the heart of leadership. It's putting others ahead of yourself. It's doing what is best for the team. It's something about that commitment to bring people along. And I like that because, you know, what good is it to be by yourself and have all of the fine things in the world and have accomplished much and made a lot of money, but haven't done anything for anybody else? I'm reminded of a story. I got to bring this in. It's just a story that I remember in the best-selling book that I know of, and that is the Holy Bible. And that was a story of a guy who was very rich, and he had accumulated a whole lot of resources, had just abundance, just an overflow. And so one day he just thought to himself and pondered and says, "Oh my God, I've got all this stuff. What am I going to do with it? I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to build a bigger barn. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to build it bigger, and I'm going to store it in there." And, you know, that demise of that person, it didn't end well for that person because that person died very shortly after making that announcement what he would do with all the stuff that he had accumulated. What am I saying to you? The stuff that you're holding on to, the experiences that you've learned, the things that you know, you've got to give it and serve it, because there are people that are hungry. There are people who want to hear from you. There are people that want to take what you've done and even do it even better. And that is a wonderful thing because you're now able to see yourself through others by what you've been able to deposit in them. And so that's the key to effective leadership, making sacrifice. So what have we talked about here this morning in this short time? I said, number 1, a leader must give up in order to go up. And number 2, if leaders have to give up to go up, then they have to give up even more to stay up. And then number 3, I've been saying, when you become a leader, you lose the right to think about just you. You have to wear the title of servant leader. I like to close with the question. I'm going to ask you these 3 questions. You answer them for yourself. Are you willing to give up to go up? What are the things you're willing to give up in order to go up? Number 3, what are you not willing to sacrifice to advance? I'll close with this. Ralph Waldo Emerson, he said, "For everything you have missed, you have gained something else. And for everything you've gained, you lose something." Think about that. For everything you have missed, you have gained something else. And for everything you gain, you lose something. You've been talking to Dr. Charles on the Red Line Corporate Success Call. I trust that this message today has blessed you because effective leadership requires you to make sacrifices. Have a great day. Have a great week. Now let's go back to work.
Thank you for listening to Dr. Charles Speaks. Visit drcharlesred.com for booking info for your ministry, business, or leadership team. Get info about the Red Line, a 15-minute corporate success call each Monday morning with Dr. Charles. Follow Dr. Charles on all social media at Dr. Charles Red. Subscribe to the podcast here for every episode of Dr. Charles Speaks. Thanks for joining us. Like Dr. Charles always says, no matter what, never, never, never give up. Until next time.